Welcome to Onward 2.0 with Century Commercial. Today I am joined by John Bourdeaux, the President and CEO of Advanced CT, and Erron Smith, the Director of Business Development. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So we just had a company meeting and we heard from these guys and they talked our ears off for an hour. No, it was all really great stuff. And we just wanted to kind of give you guys a summary of what Advanced CT is all about and what kind of really cool stuff they're doing for our state. So tell me a little bit about how you guys started and what you guys are all about.
Sure. I think that Advanced CT is a relatively young organization. We're about 5 years old, and our remit is to attract new businesses to the state and to help the businesses that are here succeed through expansion. And to retain them and make sure that they stay here for a good long time and really helping our economic ecosystem grow and thrive.
Great. Awesome. Something that you guys had talked about was, the three main things were business retention, business expansion, and attraction. Can you guys tell me a little bit of some examples of how you've kind of come in and been able to?
Yeah, I think so. What's important to understand about Advanced CT is that our mission is, while there are transactional components, we actually pride ourselves in being transformational. And so that requires taking a comprehensive approach about what is being asked of us, what we actually can provide if that's part of the solution, and then how we can collaborate with entities such as Century Commercial and other municipalities, elected officials, regional groups, state entities, in order to make sure that companies, whether we're trying to keep them in Connecticut, helping those that are unfamiliar with the U.S. at large and only are familiar with sort of gateway cities, or the ones that are domestic and are expanding, understand that they have a partner, and they understand that when we showcase our ability to partner and that we have our sort of collective-ish together, then that's actually something that sells and helps us sell itself. So one of the things I've often been told is that it isn't the actual perfect site that gets chosen. It's the site that's the most ready. And the site that's most ready doesn't always only include the real estate. It includes the people that allow the real estate to be what it is. So that's local officials, that's entities like Advanced CT, state government, local government, and of course the commercial real estate community.
And so you wouldn't, necessarily, you guys obviously work close with brokers and municipalities. Do you have, business owners directly contacting you guys, if they are looking for help to, recruit or, expand? Do they contact you guys directly? Is that some resource you are?
Yeah, absolutely. So we get everything from calls saying, I saw something in a newspaper. Tell me what I don't know.
Okay.
What am I missing?
Yeah.
And I say, oh, well, okay. Well, that just tells me I need to understand who you are as a business. Tell me about your business. How long have you been here? That always gives them an opportunity to, one, promote their business and sometimes educate me, because we have a lot of sort of hidden jewels and gems, which is honestly is an embarrassment of riches. And we don't do a good enough job promoting the companies that we have here that have such a large impact on the globe, just the world at large. And so when we get those calls, sometimes they come in and we educate them on what's available and how we can support them. And we actually want to thank them for the contributions that they've made. But then there are times when we actually source companies because they've signaled to the market that they are growing, right? And we do that a variety of different ways. Sometimes we use different proprietary data sources. But then there's other times when companies have had just a positive experience that we've worked with. And they say, you got to talk to these guys.
Yep.
They may or may not be able to do something with you, but you just need to be sort of introduced or at least in the game and on the same turf with these guys, so they can at least educate you in terms of what's going on.
Yeah, just to build on that a little bit, which is the embarrassment of riches that is Connecticut. We're an environment that is replete with assets, right? And a lot of those assets are relationships, right? And relationships like the ones that Advanced CT and Century has. Relationships like the ones that we've built with municipal leaders, with other corporate leaders, with CEOs in the state who would call up another CEO and explain to them why Connecticut is a great place for them to do their business and a great place to live and a great place to raise their family. One of the things that I love about Connecticut is we're really happy as a state where we are, right? People, I live in Hartford and my office is in New Haven. People in Hartford think I'm crazy, and people in New Haven think I need to pack an overnight bag. But the reason why is because there's so many assets around both of those cities, and all of our towns. They're fantastic restaurants, they're theaters, they're museums, they're great schools, there's hiking, you name it, we have it within sort of a 20-minute radius of my house. And so people are like, well, geez, why would you go all the way to New Haven? By the way, it's just 39 minutes,
Yeah,
coffee
exactly.
cup to coffee cup. But that's a long commute in Connecticut. And the reason why it's a long commute in Connecticut is because people are really happy where they are.
Yeah.
And it's an exciting thing to be able to show. And lots of times when we're bringing companies in or leaders in from outside of Connecticut, they're absolutely blown away. And one of the things that I love doing is bringing in someone who's just chosen Connecticut, right, from outside of the country, and having them tell Connecticut natives what they see in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing story because the Connecticut native is usually surprised. Like, oh, you don't have these things everywhere? Not everywhere is like Connecticut. The answer is no.
Yeah.
And so we've got all these really, really incredible assets. And it's, a point of pride to be able to bring them out and to show them to people. And it does make the difference.
I think that's true, and I kind of advocated for that myself with my family. We did a little staycation, and just exploring your own town. Like there's so much that we don't take advantage of ourselves, right? Staying here.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. The last thing I wanted to talk about was, and I think you kind of touched upon it a little bit, was the positives on Connecticut. And I think that's kind of what you were talking about, wanting to live here, but the connectivity, right? The connectivity of doing business in a small state and the relationships that people build with each other.
I think one of the way that I think about it is that every business owner or business leader is thinking about risk. And risk and the ability to quantify risk or to understand risk has gotten a lot more complicated in the last 5 or 10 years. And one of the best ways that I know of on how to alleviate risk or to manage risk is through relationships. And relationships with all sorts of people, like the person who's going to solve your next problem, right, is a great relationship to have. And a lot of times we don't necessarily know what our next problem is going to be. But if I'm in a community of problem solvers and we're able to introduce people to problem solvers, we're really good at solving problems in Connecticut. What that means is we're de-risking these choices to come in. And again, it's a lot of these assets that we're able to bring to bear with these business leaders to help them understand that this is probably the least risky choice that they're going to make. It's a big decision.
Yeah.
It's a very, very big decision. And whatever we can do to help them de-risk that, but a lot of that's through relationships. And our state is small enough, but our economy is powerful enough that you've got the combination of connectivity plus relationships that matter. People who are running really important companies, people who are doing really big stuff, people who are inventing new things. We have it all here in Connecticut.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add to that is sort of where I started, right? We're not a transactional place. We're a transformational place. So everything that we do has to have connectivity to something else. It has to have a value, a purpose. And so that's what the work that we're doing here. We're not just sort of come on in, you're and it's clicking them 1, 2, 3, 1,003. Oh yeah, we've got because we want the businesses that we work with to be sustainable. We want them to be successful, which means we have to be very particular, which is what Connecticut is. We're not for everyone, but people that are here for a purpose, right? And they extract a certain value that they identified exists here, and you get what you pay for ultimately, right? And one of the things I tend to like to tell people is that if I told you that I could decrease your cable bill by 80%, but I had to take away your remote control and you had to get up every time you wanted to change the channel, is that worth the savings? And they say, well, they think about the savings, but they're like, damn, the reality is I'm not getting up every time to change the channel. And sort of that's where we are. We are a very valuable society. We contribute a lot to the market at large. I'm talking about the global market. It's important to highlight that. And we're trying to do a better job of promoting and just kind of amplifying everything that Connecticut contributes to the market at large.
Yeah, I was going to say what you're saying too, amplifying what we already have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and you were saying the same thing too. There is so much that is here. There's so much manufacturing. There is so much industry that a lot of people don't even realize how important these businesses are, and they're in our own backyard. And touting that is so important. Right? Getting that message across. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Do you guys have any last words? Or?
Well, I would just say that, one of the things that I would ask everyone in Connecticut to do is to think about something nice that you love about Connecticut and tell someone else about it,
Yeah.
because it's the list goes on and on and on, and the more we share about that with one another, the better off we're all going to be. And to create that positivity is exactly what we need as a society as a whole. And if you need any ideas about fantastic things that are going on in Connecticut, you should contact Advanced CT or Century Commercial. We'll tell you about a million things that are going on in Connecticut that are absolutely awesome.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. Call these guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.